everybody. Welcome to the next edition of The Faces of Monrovia. If you're not familiar with my project, I have a website called thefacesofmonroviaca.com, and I go around the town of Monrovia and our community, and I interview people who have great stories to tell. So I think I've interviewed about 100 people so far, and KGEM came up with this great idea for us to turn this into a live show. So today I am really excited to introduce you to my guest, Keisha Bowen Darden. So on the website, you're going to see her as Keisha Bowen, but she got married. When did you get married?
Last year, July.
July, so she hasn't even had her first anniversary yet.
Not yet.
So you're a newlywed.
I'm a newlywed. So exciting.
So, but I'm going to go in and try and change your name to Darden, okay?
Darden.
But if you look for her, it's under the name Bowen, B-O-W-E-N. So, Keisha, this is going to be a conversation. We're just going to have a nice talk about you.
All right.
So tell me how you ended up in Monrovia, where you came from, where you grew up, where you went to school, all that stuff.
Okay. So first of all, I'd like to say thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here and to be able to share my story. So I was born and raised in Duarte. My parents came here from Mississippi, my mom and dad and my entire family. I was born in Duarte. I went to Duarte schools up until the 9th grade. First week of my 9th grade year, my parents moved to Monrovia, so I ended up transferring and going to Monrovia schools in my freshman year. Graduated from Monrovia High. Before graduating, I knew that I wanted to be a hairstylist, so I went to cosmetology school in Marinello's in the West Covina Mall.
I remember Marinello's.
Marinello's in the West Covina Mall. Went to cosmetology school, graduated, got my license, and opened a business. Maybe a year after working, I started off working for Clara Banks. She owned the Lemon Tree Salon.
Oh, yeah, on Myrtle.
On Myrtle.
Yeah.
She was there forever, so I worked for her for about a year.
I was sad when she sold that place.
Yeah. Yeah, she as she, started to age, she decided to downsize a lot.
Yeah.
And the story is so funny. It's really unique. We worked together for like a year, and then I opened my own salon. She was my best friend's aunt.
Okay.
And then after opening my own salon, there was a little uncomfortable situation. And I love her.
Because now you're the competition,
yes,
right?
Yes. And I really wasn't, but I think that's the way it was looked at. And there's a little backstory behind that. But I end up opening right around the corner from her on Colorado and Ivy. Now it's that Sauté Academy.
Right.
So I was there for 11 years, and forever she would drive by and she would never speak to me. So I would always come out of my salon, walk up Myrtle, go across the street, because that was the only beauty supply in Monrovia.
Yeah.
So I'd go there to that beauty supply, and then I'd come back and I'd see her. And eventually there was a, hi, how are you? Hello there. So for a long time, she asked me when she started talking to me again, if I would come and work with her. And I'm going, nah. At this point, my salon and barbershop was really starting to grow, and business was doing well. And I told her, no, but you can come and work with us. It's no problem. So I was in the process of leaving. I got another building because at that point, the street fair was getting really popular.
Right.
The street fair was bad for business.
It's still bad for some of the restaurants, I think.
It was bad for business because of parking.
Right.
So I was going to move to Foothill, and I shared with her, I'm like, Miss Claire, I'm moving. If you want to move in with me, you're more than welcome to do so. And she thought about it, and eventually she was like, okay, I'll try it. So she closed down, and she moved in with me on Foothill.
Full circle, huh?
Full circle. We worked together. I think we were on Foothill for about 12 years.
I remember that, too.
Yeah, we were on Foothill for about 12 years, and then we moved to Huntington Drive, which is where we're located at now. So the salon and the barbershop still exists on Huntington Drive. It's 325 West Huntington Drive. I thought it was so funny how people welcomed me to the neighborhood. And I'm going, I've been around a long time, but they didn't know. They had no idea. And I tried to advertise, and let people know, hey, and I remember it was like 4 months notice. I'm going to be moving on this day. I'm going to be moving on this day. I even had customers that said, oh my God, we thought you closed down. I'm like, no, I
told you I was moving.
And the same block. I was in the same block on Foothill that I am now on Huntington. So years later, still on Huntington, the salon and the barbershop still exist. And Simply Divine is growing. Me personally, I don't do hair anymore.
Oh, you don't?
I don't.
Oh. Do you miss it?
No, because I still have my hands in it.
Okay.
Literally.
Got it.
Teaching. So as the school grows, I still teach.
Good.
And in teaching, you got to do practical. You have to show the students what to do. So every once in a while, I'll jump in and do someone's hair or give a demo. So I don't miss it because I'm still in it.
Yeah.
My 50th birthday present to myself was to retire from behind the chair. So it was good, and it was necessary because doing hair is hard on the body.
Oh yeah, you're standing up all day long,
so
right?
I got a bum knee because of it. Fast forward, I think after maybe 12 years of being a hairstylist, I got a job at Citrus College teaching.
Oh, you did? Mm-hmm. In their cosmetology department?
Mm-hmm. Yep, in their cosmetology department. I taught for about 18 years.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I taught at Citrus for about 18 years and other community colleges, but I was only part-time. My dream at that point was to get a full-time position, retire from behind the chair, and just teach. But for whatever reason, I could never get a full-time position. Never got a full-time position. My spiel is I was good enough to teach the students.
Yikes.
Then I was good enough to teach the teachers. I used to host classes and teach the instructors. Then I started helping with curriculum development, but I could never get full-time. Yeah, I don't know. I have my
theories.
Yeah, but I'll leave that alone.
Okay.
So eventually I decided, you know what? I'm just going to open my own school. Forget this. So I opened an apprenticeship school first.
Okay.
So with
at the salon, the barbershop. Okay.
At the Monrovia location, and it had its own separate building. So it was an apprenticeship school. So with the apprenticeship school, you have to go to school for like 250 hours. So one day a week, the student would come to me, licensed by the Board of Barbering and Cosmetology, and they would go to school. But they also had to train where they apprentice in a salon or a barbershop for the rest of their hours.
Alongside another stylist? Okay.
Yep, alongside another hairstylist or barber, whichever program they enrolled in. So the person that they were training under was kind of responsible for showing them all of the hands-on, the practical portion. Okay, I did that, and that's the oldest program that I have. This year makes 10 years.
Wow, excellent.
So I'm happy to say we've licensed a lot of students. My ultimate goal was always to do a traditional school. So about 7 years ago, we started the traditional school barbering. So now we offer barbering, cosmetology, esthetician, and manicuring.
Esthetician too.
Esthetician
Is
too.
it unusual for somebody like you to run both a barbershop and a salon? Is that, I mean, that doesn't happen often, does it?
No, it doesn't.
I don't think so.
It doesn't.
Because usually, the barbershops are like totally separated.
And it's so it doesn't happen often, but I kind of accidentally fell into being a barbershop owner. When I opened my hair salon, I had two friends that worked at a barbershop down in DeWarty, and they were moving and they wanted somewhere to work. So they came in and asked me if they could come in and work with me. I was real hesitant in the beginning because, normally
different vibe, right?
It's a whole different vibe. Yeah. The cosmetologists,
right? Because the guys come in and whoever comes
guys
in to
come
see
into the barbershop.
They don't get their hair washed. They just get a cut and go, right?
Yeah. Typically they don't, and typically the guys come to the barbershop to hang out. Even if they're not getting
I can see that. I see that over at the one on Colorado.
Absolutely.
They just hang out all day.
They come and hang out, as to where the hairstylist, the lady that's coming in to get her hair done, she wants to come and relax.
Yeah,
she wants to talk a little bit to her stylist, but it's not a big deal for her to just want to be quiet.
Right.
She's enjoying getting away.
And it feels so good to get pampered.
Yes, to be pampered.
I love it.
So I had to figure out a way to separate the two. So I built a wall in the middle of my first salon to keep them. It had to be a soundproof wall. to keep
Sure.
the barbers on one side.
'Cause they're
and keep
hanging
them-
out.
Exactly, because they're hanging out. Friday nights were fun. Keep the barbers over here and the cosmetologists, the people that wanted the females over here. So when I moved to my Foothill location, the thing that attracted me to that building, it was 2 buildings. I couldn't believe it. When I walked up, I was like, oh, this is perfect. So we had the hair salon, and then the building behind the hair salon was the barbershop. So
be
now
darned.
we were totally separated. So at that point, I was like, oh yeah, they can never work with us again. The move to Huntington, same thing. We had a building, they had their own building. So it
great.
literally became a separate barbershop. So it's Simply Divine Salon and Spa, and then it's Simply Divine Barbershop.
What does the spa offer? I mean, just for the ladies out there who want to have spa treatments.
Yes, if we have some ladies that want to have some esthetician services done. So in the spa we do lashes, we do facials, we do waxing, and there's 3 rooms, estheticians. So they're private, closed-in
I
rooms.
did not know that. See, I'm learning something new just by talking to you today.
Yeah, we offer all of
great.
that, and they do a really good job.
Good. We'll have to make an
Get
appointment.
my lashes done there also.
They look good. I was noticing them.
Thank you.
My niece just graduated from Citrus College Cosmetology, and she's an esthetician. She's working for Massage Envy out in Upland or somewhere out that way. But yeah, she just graduated. She said it was a good school to go to.
Yeah,
so.
it is. Very good.
Okay, well, let's switch gear a little bit.
Okay.
Talk about your family. So tell us, about your husband and your kids, and
Look,
how
okay.
you met your husband.
That makes me happy.
and
That
how
makes
old
me
your kids?
happy. So my family, my mom and dad divorced when I was like 9.
Oh,
So I was actually raised by my dad.
really?
Yes. My dad has been in Monrovia forever, and he owned a business here forever. I'm trying to force him into retirement now.
His last name is Bowen?
Carter.
Oh, Carter.
Sylvester Carter, Monrovia Body Shop.
I know Sylvester Carter. I
That's-
mean, I know of him.
That's my daddy.
I didn't know that. Okay.
That's my dad. And my mom, unfortunately, she passed away a year ago. She had dementia and some other complications. So we buried her last year, week before Mother's Day.
That's a hard thing to lose your mama.
Yeah, it is. So Sunday was tough for me.
It's always tough for me
Yeah.
too. My mom died in 2000, and still, when Mother's Day comes around, it's one of the hardest holidays for me.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk to anybody. So
Yeah.
that's a thing.
Especially
yeah.
so recent.
Yes. And then I have 2 adult children. DeAndre is 33 and Damien is 30.
See, you don't look old enough to have 30-year-old kids.
Oh yeah, I do. I have
yeah, I do.
Look, I do. And then I have 2 grandchildren. Kamari is 14, that's my grandson, and my granddaughter, my little mini me, as I call her. You'll catch her working in the beauty supply sometime. She's 11.
Oh, 11. Oh, good for her.
She's 11.
Is her aspiration to become just like you?
Yeah,
Her grandma?
yeah, yeah, she does.
Cute. And they all went through Monrovia schools?
No, only my sons went through Monrovia schools up until my oldest son up until the 9th grade. When they were in Monrovia, that's when the schools and the gang things start getting really tough.
I remember
So
that.
I was a single parent. I divorced their dad when the little one was like 9 months old. So I had to make the decision to get them out of here because I wanted them to have a chance at a decent life.
Sure.
So they both of them graduated from Bishop Amant.
Oh, okay.
So I sacrificed and put them in private school, and they turned out to be decent
That's a good
kids.
school.
Yeah,
That's a
they
good
had their
school.
bumps in the road, but my youngest son is a firefighter. He works for LA County firefighter.
Oh,
Yes.
exciting.
And then my oldest actually manages my barbershop, and he's into real estate.
Okay, well, that's
Yes.
good.
So-
So when what that time period was
Mm-hmm.
about, what year was that about when you took your kids out of school? In the 80s?
Yeah, no.
90s?
I feel like it was 2007
Oh,
or
that
10.
recent. Yeah. That was before they put the gang injunction in place.
Yes,
right? Yeah.
yes, it was.
I remember when I moved here to Monrovia, everybody was like, why in the world do you want to live in Monrovia? But look at it now.
Oh yeah,
We have seen
we're coming back. We've had our lows, but we're back up. And I say a lot of people that moved away, they want to come back now, and
they can't afford it.
of course they can't afford it because the property value is
Good
yeah,
for me, but not good for them.
Exactly, exactly. So they I got them away, and they both went to college and got their degrees
Great.
and came back, and we all still live here. And I'm not going anywhere.
And so that speaks volumes about your parenting skills, because your kids are still around and still like being around you, right?
Yeah, they do, depending on the day. And then my wonderful husband. So I went to
Steve, right?
Steve, yes. I go to Second Baptist in Monrovia. And I'll be honest.
I'm trying to get the pastor to. You saw me pushing on him the other night.
Look, I'll help you. I'll help you with that.
You
I
bug
got
him
you.
for me.
Yeah, we went to high school together, so he's my good friend.
Chris is his name,
yeah,
right?
Pastor Chris. Yes, I'll get him next.
Okay.
No problem.
I sold the Dillard's house, by the way.
Yeah, I remember you saying that. Yes. So Steve and I went to church together, and I honestly wasn't really paying any attention to Steve because I had been married before, and Marvin was my previous husband, and we really didn't have a marriage for a long time because he was sick, and we stayed married on paper for 6 years. Diabetes, he passed away. So I took care of him literally until the end. So I was not focused on anything but working.
Meeting men wasn't on your agenda.
Absolutely not. I was like, I don't have time for that. So Steve and I were introduced to each other, even though we went to church together, by Miss Lois Gaston.
Oh, I love Miss Lois.
Lois Gaston was the matchmaker, but I don't think she was trying to matchmake. Steve wanted to do a back to school backpack giveaway because he too owns a business in Pasadena. It's called the Darden Law Leadership Academy.
Oh, okay.
He mentors youth and helps get them prepared for college. So making sure their test scores and SATs,
Awesome
takes them on
for
college
him.
tours.
That's great.
So she simply shared with him, oh, you should talk to Keisha. She works with the Unity Center and they do back to school backpack events all the time. So we start talking about that. And for those of you that know me, I'm all business. I'm not talking about. So he told me one day jokingly, because we would check in weekly as we were planning this backpack giveaway. He said, well, can we stop talking about that right now? Because I'm flirting. I was like, what? Oh.
You didn't know he was
I
flirting?
didn't even know he was flirting. How crazy is that? So the rest is history. We hit it off. This year will be our third annual back to school backpack giveaway.
And when is that?
It's going to be August 12th and 13th.
Okay.
August 12th and 13th. We do one in Monrovia, and then we do the other one in Pasadena at his business.
Great.
So I'll be
I
soliciting
had the pleasure
some
of meeting
sponsors.
your awesome husband at the Martin Luther King Jr. Event at Duarte Performing Arts Center with the high school kids there. And that was nice that we got to give some kids gift cards when we were there, right?
Yeah,
so
he's a good guy.
if you don't know, if you're not familiar with Keisha, she is one of the most giving people you will ever meet in your life. And she's very involved in the community. And last Thursday, she was presented with the Monrovia Reads Legacy Award for all of the great things that she does to help kids read books. So, and other things. So talk to us about that.
Okay.
How you felt about getting that award.
Okay, so as you said, my thing is youth. Anything
Me
that I
too.
can do to help the young person. So of course, I'm always involved with young people that want to be in the beauty business.
Sure.
I sit on the board for the Foothill Unity Center. Monrovia Reads has always supported me. Janet and Lori, I met them and start working with them during the back to school for Unity Center, packing the supplies.
That's how you met each other.
That's how we met each other. And then Janet and I sat on I can't think of the committee, it was a committee for Monrovia that did the roads, how we were redoing the roads and fixing the street improvements.
Monrovia Renewal Project?
I think that was the name of it.
I think that's it.
But we sat on that board together and we just really became friends.
I could tell when she got up and spoke about you, it was with passion. I could tell. I said, those two are really good friends.
Yeah, I love her. She supports me
Everybody
a lot.
loves her.
She's such a sweetheart.
awesome woman.
And it took everything in my power to not yell out, "Happy birthday, Janet." It was her birthday that day. I don't think she wanted everybody to know. So I was going, okay, Keisha, be quiet, keep it to yourself. So she nominated me, or someone, for the Literacy Legacy Award, and it was such a blessing and a privilege for me, like you said, to just be recognized.
Yeah.
Because I really don't do it for recognition. I do the things that I do to give back to the community.
It's in your heart.
And it's in my heart, and to help. I just shared with my students before running over here. We're doing the We do the haircuts for the Unity
I
Center.
know, I was going to ask you about that too.
Yeah, we do the haircuts for the Unity Center, so we're going to do that on Saturday, and then we're going to do the game booth for the Monrovia Day Parade. So I kind of shared with them a little bit of my background, and I'm always looking for people to come and help me, but I shared with them, if you don't have a heart to give, this is not the assignment that you want to volunteer for, because we're not going to go in being judgmental. You have to have a heart to give. So that's the way I've always looked at trying to help somebody, because I'm like, you know what? Somebody helped me along the way.
Sure.
I gave you my story of Miss Claire. Miss Claire helped me mold my career tremendously. So when they nominated me for the Literacy Legacy Award, I was like really, really thankful. And we formed this barbershop book reading club.
Oh, yeah?
So Lori and Janet, the little libraries in Monrovia,
Right.
Lori and Janet built the barbershop, a little library in the shape of a barber pole.
Sweet.
They came in, they mounted it, they filled it with books, and then we start giving free haircuts to the kids that would come in and read a book and then sit in the chair and tell the barber about what they read.
Oh, how cute is that?
The parents loved it, and it just kind of grew from there. So it's still going
Popular
on.
program.
Yeah, we still have the books up, and a lot of parents want their kid, give them something else to do, like read a book, get off the phone.
Well, yeah, and I think reading is such an important thing to teach children now.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I know we're going through some political stuff with trying to ban books and stuff, but I just think that the more knowledge that they can, they're like sponges, right? If they read
They
a book,
are.
and their vocabulary
They are.
grows, and they comprehend things a little easier when they're taking tests.
And the reason why this program was really even created, Janet and Lori and I were somewhere, and they were talking about the statistics of kids that can't read by the 4th grade and how it leads to a higher incarceration rate. And I'm going, what?
Yeah.
To a life of crime. So I'm like, okay, let's see what we can do to help kids learn how to read and value reading.
Yeah.
So
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
For those of you that aren't aware, and I'm sure that you've seen them around town, the little libraries are all over in front of people's homes and in businesses and things like that. And people come by and they drop off books and they pick up books. And it's not just children's books, it's adult books. I mean, I collect books and read them, and then when I'm done with them, I take them over to Joanne Spring's house usually.
Oh,
is
okay.
where I put them in her little library. But so if you want a map, I know that the city has a map of all of the little
of the little
libraries in
libraries,
town.
yeah.
And I know that Monrovia Reads just bid on the one that Gonzo built. It's like a Dr. Seuss
super
house.
cute.
It's so
super cute. I was like, oh, I want that.
And it's going in front of the Early Learning Center.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I thought that
I
was
heard
a
him
great
say that.
idea.
That's neat. Yeah.
So now you also, I heard Janet talk to you about the fact that you help give people an opportunity to take a shower and get their hair washed and styled. And so talk to us about that.
So the haircuts, we partnered with the Unity Center. I kind of brought that program in years ago when I was at Citrus, because I was able to convince the students to come and participate in the back to school giveaway that is now really big, and it's at the
Very
Unity,
big.
the racetrack. We usually service about, I think last year our number was like 1,500 families. So we were trying to figure out how can we have the unhoused person prepared for their haircut, and not make them feel like they can't get a haircut.
Sure.
So I reached out to some people, and we brought in the showers. So they bring in mobile showers to the Unity Center in the parking lot, and the client can come and they can take a shower, and then they leave the shower and they go right to the station. I have a mobile unit that has 3 styling chairs in it and a shampoo bowl if we need it.
I'd love to come and watch.
So they
that.
come on. We should be there on Saturday from
This
9
Saturday
to 1.
during Monrovia Days.
During Monrovia Days,
Okay,
yes.
good.
So they come onto the unit, they sit down, and I have my students. We go over consultation with them and talk to them about how they want their haircut, and they get a haircut.
How must that make them feel? First of all, to feel welcomed by people, because so many times they're shunned for being unhoused, on the streets.
Right.
And people kind of like, they're afraid of them, which is so silly to me. But the other thing is that how much confidence it must instill in them when they come out from having a shower and having a haircut and feeling like a new person.
And you know what? Every person that we have given a haircut, and we've cut a lot of people's hair.
Have you?
Yes. They all express how grateful they are. Like, thank you so much. But not only does it make them feel good, it makes the student that's giving the service
I bet.
feel great. Like, wow, I made that person feel good today. They look good and they feel good.
Such a reward. Huh?
Yes, such a reward.
So I could talk to you for hours. We're gonna run out of time, and I don't want to forget that we're talking about Monrovia.
Okay.
So what is your favorite thing about Monrovia?
Oh my God.
I know there's a lot. But
It's a lot. But I was able to share last week one of my favorite things about Monrovia. Monrovia Day. It brings back such great childhood memories.
Bet. I didn't grow up here.
Oh, so fun. I remember when I was little, Monrovia Days was a big deal. So they
went down
back.
Foothill, right, with the parade.
They did.
Yeah.
They did. They came down Foothill and went south on Myrtle.
Right.
But as a kid growing up, I'd get all my friends together. I'd have this, we had these little shirts made one year, and it was a song that was out called Cutie Pie. So we had Cutie Pie on our shirts. We walked up to the parade, and it was a whole weekend thing.
Absolutely.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you buy your little ticket, get your wristband, and do all the carnival
rides.
Those were just like fun memories. And the thing that really stands out to me is that now I get a chance to be a part in all that. Those are some great memories. I love it. So I'm looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, I always look forward to it. I moved here in 1987, so I didn't grow up here and I didn't get to experience that. And by the time the first Monrovia Day parade I went to, it was already moved off of Foothill and down Myrtle.
Just down Myrtle.
But I heard people talk about hanging out at the Elks Lodge lawn and watching the parade go by. And I was the president of the Monrovia Day Association for a few years.
Okay.
Thanks to Marianne Lutz, who recruited me into doing the parade one year, which is really a hard job. So
I could imagine.
Kudos to all of the volunteers for this weekend, because they work hard all weekend long. But it's so fun. I understand that all of the game booths this year are going to be run by all the local community nonprofit groups. Yep. So I'll be there too for Empower, the Monrovia Parks Wilderness Recreation Foundation. But every nonprofit in town is going to be there doing the game booths. So that's going to be fun.
I'm excited. My nonprofit is called Simply Provide Foundation.
Oh, that's great.
And what we do is we're the ones that offer scholarships to students that want to go to school, cosmetology, barbering, they can't afford it. We offer scholarships, and then we send the van out into the community. We started off with the mobile unit, giving haircuts to babies that are autistic, because it's uncomfortable for them to be in a barbershop environment.
They can't sit still.
Exactly. So we do that. We go out to the senior citizen facilities or to the group homes. So we're excited about being there.
Well, Keisha, you have such a giving heart, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to interview you for the Faces of Monrovia project, because you were just like the epitome of exactly why I took on this project, because I really think that a lot of people in town are deserving of some kind of recognition, and that yet they're behind the scenes so much that they don't get to tell their story. So that's my goal, is to tell people's stories.
Oh, thank you.
So I'm so happy that you were able to do the questionnaire. And by the way, I should have you redo it, because I sort of fleshed it out and made it a little more substantial, right? Because I know some of the questions at the beginning were just kind of fluffy.
Right.
So now it's a little more substantial.
I'll redo
hopes
it
and
for
dreams.
you.
So I might have you redo your interview. But I'd like to thank all of you for tuning in and listening to my friend Keisha. She's awesome. If you know anybody, or if you want to nominate yourself, that's fine too. You can go to thefacesofmonroviaca.com and hit the nominate button, and that will come straight to me, and I will tell them that you nominated them. But if you want to remain anonymous, that's you can do that too. I nominated Keisha, so that was when I was first getting started, and I had to have 9 people to get the project going, and you were one of the first people I thought of. So I want to thank KGEM again for coming up with this idea for this show. I think it's fabulous.
Thank you.
And I think that being able to share people's stories who are really based in Monrovia and doing great things. So thank you again. Thank you, Keisha.
And thank you,
Have a
Donna, for
wonderful
having
week.
me. I
You're
appreciate
welcome.
you.
Okay.
All righty.
Bye.
Bye-bye.